Hey, on the last episode of Restoring Christine, I thought I was mostly finished with the body work. I had everything primed from the firewall back all the way around. And then this weekend I came to it and guess what I found? 2 divots on the top of the trunk lid. So that's what I decided to work on this weekend. But this weekend, instead of working and explaining, how about we just do time lapse all the way from beginning to end, overlay it with some good rock and roll music. You can watch me work and listen to some great tunes. If you're interested in watching and listening to this week, please stay tuned. Welcome back to another episode of Restoring Christine. My name is Bill. This 56 Bel Air behind me. She's not a 58 Plymouth Fury like Stephen King's Christine, but she was always a red and white car. And my kids, when we first got her years ago when they were little, thought she looked like Christine, so that's what we called her, and the name stuck. So she's always been Christine and always will be to me. So where I'm at right now is I just finished doing a lot of the body work from the firewall all the way back. I had body filler around 3 sides, and I had it was multicolored. So the last episode that I just did, which was episode 75, we shot some primer, some high build primer, just to get me back to zero, so I know where I'm at and I can start assessing what I need to do next. Well, as I was doing that, one thing I didn't really pay a whole lot of attention to was the top of the trunk lid because it never had any damage. So I thought. And then as I'm sanding along, I'm sanding down here, and then I'm sanding, let me get a little bit above this. I had epoxy primer on it, and I discovered that I had a low spot here and a low spot here. I think somebody way back in the day, probably used this trunk lid as a stepping stool of some sort. I found dents on the roof that I didn't recall being there. I have dents down here, dents up there, so I've got to deal with those. But what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to work at the top of this trunk lid, and I'm going to get that together. But my vision for this video is I'm just going to do 100% time lapse, throw some music in the background, and let you listen and watch as I work in hyperlapse speed to get this repaired. But before I get started, let me just show you. I've got 2 spots here that are low. I threw some guide code on it just so it would be easier for me to see. Let me go ahead and quickly sand that down, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. There's the 2 pockets. One here and one here. This one's probably about 3/16 of an inch to a 1/4 inch low. This one's about 1/8 of an inch low. And it's following the ribbing. So there's a rib here, a rib there, and a rib there on the inside. You can see those on the inside. So there's the pocket that's pushed in. There's the other pocket that's pushed in, and it's also got a little bit on this pocket and that pocket. So all those are pushed in, but the good news is I can get to the back side and I can push them up with my body hammer. Go to the filler, and I'm using Roberlo. I'm going to use Roberlo Maxi Fill to fill the main volume, and then I will use Maxi Light to skim over the entire deck. And depending on how this video goes, if I can shoot some primer today, I will. And what I'm using is Roberlo Multi-Filler Express DTM ME1. It uses a P4000 hardener, 4-to-1, and you can also mix it up to 20 to 25% volume with lacquer thinner to thin it out. So that's what we're going to do today. And like I said, I'm going to do this all time lapse. I'm not going to talk in between. I'm just going to set you up in a tripod, do long range video. I'll put some music on in the background for you, and let's get her done. Here we go. There it is. It's a cold day. I had to open the garage door because it was way too fumy in here. I was starting to feel it. But it looks really good. I mean, it's now those two little divots are gone. And I mean, you wouldn't think that it would take that much work to do it, but it did. And it's right. Now it's right. The only thing goofy right now is I only had enough primer in my gun to do this once, which seals it, and then the second time it has a little bit of a sheen because I only got back to here. I ran out of primer, and I was like, you know what, I've got plenty enough body work to do. I'm not going to worry about mixing up a little bit more. We're going to let it go at that. So that's going to do it for this video. Throughout the day, I've been inside bringing in the videos as I've been recording them. So every time I've been letting the filler cure, I've been editing the video. So putting it together, I think it's coming out pretty good. We'll see. Hope you like this one. But tell you what, if you're liking my videos, I'd appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're enjoying the channel, I'd love a subscription. Tell you what, if you want to leave a comment, please do. All are welcome. I try to respond to all. We got a good group following us. I appreciate each and every one of you. But until I see you next time, please take care of yourself. Cheers.